What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Just tapping in with you guys to give you an update on what my thoughts are and my sentiment. I'm out here in Mexico and I try to switch it up a little bit as far as making sure that I travel inside of the United States, outside of the United States. And it's a reality check for me in particular. First, let me say this. I love the United States of America. I love traveling. I love experiencing other places, but I absolutely love my piece of shit country that is absolutely falling apart. It's still the best place in the world for me in particular. I think that everywhere that you travel, you have to evaluate what purpose it serves in your life at that particular time, but it's no place like home. Now, all of these places are awesome to visit. It's awesome to vacation to. You can come and check it out. I like to see what the cultural norms are, what the experiences are, what the food is like, how the people live. I ask a lot of questions. I try to immerse myself, not just being on an all inclusive resort like I am right now. And it's beautiful here, it's absolutely gorgeous. Everything is open. The bed is literally facing the outside, and I'm looking at the ocean. It's kind of dark outside, but I'm looking at the ocean and it's facing the outside. But it's gorgeous, white sandy beaches, uh, right next to the jungle, so you can see the how the people live out here. And I like to go and visit and see how people are living off, the touristy area or wherever it is that it's the most safe, as much as I possibly can. I think I'm becoming a little bit more risk averse, so I'm less likely to do that now that I'm getting older and I'm getting a little bit more money. But the point is that when I come to these places, it helps for me to be able to appreciate where I'm at, how blessed we are inside of the United States of America, why people are trying to immigrate over into the United States of America. And if you've never been outside the country, or you never even been outside your state or your city, because there's still a lot of people, a lot of people are trying to hurry up and come and get their passport so that they can go and, travel to the other countries and all of this stuff. And some people are going over there to get pussy, and other people are going over to get different cultural experiences. And most people are doing it just because somebody else told them to do it and they don't have a mind of their own. But the point that I'm making is that once you start to experience different things, it helps for your life to be a lot more colorful, because you'll then be able to use those experiences and compare it to what your cultural norms are, and then have a broader world view of how you should be living your life based off of your morals and values. So I'll give you an example. It helps for me to be able to really put in perspective and appreciate the fact that we have so many opportunities and blessings, even with all of the inflation, even with trash presidents, and even with all of the political wrangling and the bad taxes that we have. And we have a lot to fix inside of the United States of America. There's no place still right now to this day that is like the United States of America, in my opinion. Not that I visited, right? I mean, I've been to some pretty awesome places, one of the most awesome places, and I talk about it often, and I refer to it. And I think that we need to adopt a lot of the ways that they live, in order to clean up our streets, in order to, have a different perspective, and have a longer life expectancy. And I know that capitalism is running rampant, and so, that flies in the face of what we think should happen inside of the United States of America. But Tokyo, Japan, I mean, Tokyo, that's what New York should look like. New York should literally be a reflection of Tokyo and not the other way around. They don't have the rats, they don't have the problems, they don't have the issues, the trouble, and all of that stuff. But again, I think that we get so caught up, and even myself, I'm guilty of it, in that um, I love my city. I can't even lie. And now that it's on the come up, and now that it's evolving, and it's become a much, much, much greater place to live, and it's an awesome place to be in Detroit City. um, I love it. I absolutely adore it. And so when I come to some of these other places, there's some things, and some small, some large, that throw me off a little bit, right? Sitting here and being and looking at the ocean, even though I'm off the water and I have both of my places out in the suburb, I overlook a lake, and then I'm overlooking Detroit River, and I can see Canada from the place downtown. It's completely different being in a humid environment. You overlooking the ocean. The ocean smells different, like all of your senses. it kick in, and that's the thing that then, really resonate with you when you take in a lot of these things. I don't just go to these places and look at the people or look at the women and just have to, taste the food and that's it. I take in everything. I mean, I'm truly living in the moment. I'm living in the present, and I can smell the ocean. I can smell the jungle. So on one side of this resort that I'm on, and even when I'm leaving and being transported over from the airport over into the resort. I think this is called the Grand Velas. Is that the Grand Velas, Rita? The Grand Velas. Even when you're being transported and the guy that's transporting your driver is going over all of the different things and you're asking questions. And I always talk to people and I ask a lot of questions: where to go, where not to go, what is your experience, what's the truth about this, what's the truth about this, is this true, whatever, blah blah blah. um you can see the different ways in which the people are living in the restaurants and how people are getting around and their mode of transportation and what the streets look like. And he's going over and he's breaking down, oh man, I've been here, I came to this place and visited since I was 5 years old, and this is the history of it and all of this stuff, right? And so when you start to see this stuff, it resonates with you, and it plays a bigger role in, even the temperature and when it rains, and how the people treat you based off of how they live off of the place that they're working. And I got my own personal butler and the concierge and stuff like that. And you realize how privileged and how blessed you are to have the opportunities to do it, and we don't even take advantage of it. And I think that that's another reason um why I have the disposition and why I work so hard, is because I understand the opportunities that we presented with. We come from an environment that is not so great, but even our not so great places that we live in inside the United States of America is 10 times better, and you have more opportunity to pull yourself out of it than they have in some of these other countries that we come, we visit, we eat their food, we let them serve us, we tip them real big sometimes, sometimes not, and we take for granted what they would kill for to take advantage of over in the United States of America. And so, my experiences here, and I think that it's important for me to do a lot more vlogs on these platforms so that I can actually express my thoughts and get my thoughts off. Sometimes maybe I'll be walking, but other times I'll just be sitting down and I'll be giving my perspective depending on where I'm at, because I still like to have a level of privacy and live my life offline, in addition to the live streams and the shows that I produce for you guys. But to conclude this whole conversation, all I'm saying is I get it, I understand it, and I will continue to explore and travel and let the experiences that I have color my thoughts, and then communicate those thoughts over to you, whether you agree with them or not. And let me say this one last thing before I get off. Um, I don't honestly, I don't understand the sentiment of passport bros, and I guess that passport bros is a loose term because that term itself shouldn't encapsulate all guys that have their passports, and even to the point to where you know, I think that passport bros more or less reflects black culture getting their passports and then what their experiences are overseas, or in different countries. And then conversely, white men have been, and Asian men, and a lot of these other guys in these other cultures have been basically a version or the earliest versions of passport bros that a lot of these guys are just now starting to discover. But I ain't even gonna say passport bros. I'm gonna say guys that choose to live overseas, or some of these guys that go over and they go to other places to get married, or some people just go over there just to get boxed and all of that. I can't. It's nice places to visit. I done been to the Dominican Republic where that's a large tourism industry. I'm not even sure that I even want to go over to Thailand for to see some of the stuff that they've seen. Even over here in Mexico and all of this stuff. I can't I can't fathom living in a place that is substandard based off of the things that I've seen and experienced in the United States of America. That's It just is what it is for me personally. I would get homesick. I would absolutely get homesick. And my experience over here, just being here for the first day in this particular part of Mexico, has been awesome. I mean, the food was awesome. Went to two different restaurants. Traveling was great. My room is great. Walking on the beach is awesome. Experiencing some of the things that I've seen, and even the way that their food tastes is just much more authentic than what's happening in the United States. And so it's going to be pros and cons both ways. But I'll express my thoughts hopefully maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll give you an update tomorrow on what my experience is here, and I'll go more into detail. And maybe I'll even do a little bit of a walk around so I can show you guys what I see on a regular basis. But yeah, I got my own private pool that overlooks a pool that overlooks the ocean, and it's great. In my part of this particular location, it's no kids and no children on this part of the resort, and so it is. It's awesome, and so maybe I'll express that a little bit more to you guys. But great times, good experiences, and those are my thoughts for today. So I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Looking forward to kicking with y'all tomorrow. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.